Welcome to Let's Go Racing. I'm Dani Gibson here with Dick Jerardi, and we have a great show. We're going to take a look back at the Kentucky Derby and all those thrilling undercard races from the day, the Kentucky Oaks, some more action from our golf outing, and the ribbon cutting was here for the Smarty Jones exhibit, but fans were out in full force. It was a great day to see the apron packed and getting to cheer on horses, and it was just an awesome day here at the track. Big buzz, and it was great to have live racing at Parx.
Yeah, for sure. Only comes once a year, and it's always cool to have live racing leading up to the Derby at 7 o'clock last Saturday night.
Well, in honor of the big race, the Kentucky Derby, people had their hats on here at Parx, family fun, out in the picnic grove, but all eyes were on Churchill Downs. It was race 12, the $5 million Grade 1 Kentucky Derby for 3-year-olds going a mile and a quarter. We have been talking about all week. We both love the favorite, Journalism.
Yeah, just under 7-2 was the final odds, which I could not resist, and I pounded away at Journalism in all pools imaginable, and I thought there was only one way he could get beat, and well, we're about to see what happens.
Yeah, second choice is that Gray Sandman. We got to talk about him because he was the second choice because of all the buzz around him with Griffin Johnson,
right,
the big influencer, and just a lot of press with this horse.
Yeah, I was shocked, frankly, that the horse was the second choice over Sovereignty on paper, but you're right. The influencer who was everywhere, and I thought it was really cool, and I love the fact that Terry walked over with him on the walkover. Terry Finley did. So yeah, sometimes it's out of our control who gets bet, but I was surprised.
Here it is, the 151st running at the Kentucky Derby.
And Neo Equos, as expected, to the front, but they've come well off the rail. And these two are setting the pace with Owen Almighty to the outside. East Avenue is away running in fourth. American Promise is fifth and down on the inside. Then Admire Daytona. Burnham Square is closer today. He's down on the rail, only about 5 lengths off the lead. Then Chunk of Gold. Journalism is saving ground into that turn. He's in the middle of the pack as Cold Battle goes up on the far outside with Render Judgment and Flying Mohawk. Then comes Publisher Baeza to the outside. Down toward the rail, Japan's Luxor Cafe leads Sovereignty. Tistastic and Sandman are next. And Final Gambit is the trailer as they race past this half mile in 46.23 seconds. So the pace is honest enough, set by the Baffert runners, Citizen Bull, and Neo Equos is pressing it on the outside. American Promise together with Owen Almighty, third and fourth. Break of another 2.5 to East Avenue in fifth. Burnham Square is sixth on the inside. Brian Hernandez has him down on the rail like he did with Mystic Dan last year. They're about 6 lengths off the lead as they race for the far turn. Citizen Bull on the inside. Neo Equos on the outside. These two right together on the lead. American Promise comes under pressure. Owen Almighty is fourth by 2.5. Chunk of Gold is fifth, trying to get involved now with 5 lengths to make up. And meanwhile, we look back for Journalism. He's been swung to the outside by Umberto Rispoli, and he's picking off horses one by one on the far outside. Neo Equos is the leader at the top of the stretch. Journalism is on the move as they turn for home, and Sovereignty is coming with him on the outside. The two of them go right by with a furlong to run. Journalism and Sovereignty, nose to nose, down to the last 16th of a mile. Sovereignty has taken the lead. Journalism is second toward the inside. Baeza is third, but it will be Sovereignty to rule the Kentucky Derby.
What a finish it was, but Sovereignty and Junior Alvarado got the win over Journalism. It was a fight to the finish, but look, Sovereignty, he had a dream trip.
A deserving winner, there's no question. It's interesting backstory here, Dani. Crown, the dam of this horse, is an unraced Pennsylvania bred who actually cost more than $1 million. Godolphin bought her at the sales, and it had a 2 foals so far. A couple of fillies had done nothing on the track, all full to Sovereignty. Well, Sovereignty made up for it. Sadly, Crown just passed away recently, but if Sovereignty makes up for the money and then some, because how much is he now worth as a stallion? Look, Bill Mott had him prepared perfectly, and no surprise, Bill Mott wins the race. I thought Journalism's race changed, Dani, at the beginning when that mess with Citizen Bull taking a right turn. All of a sudden, he's out of position. I mean, he was 10th. I thought he'd be like 5th or 6th. Yeah. He's behind horses that have no speed. So I thought that messed his race up a little bit, but you know what? Sovereignty was the deserving winner. I thought that Baeza ran phenomenal for as inexperienced as he is. And my other pick, Burnham Square, if you watch the race at the half-mile pole, Daytona, the Daytona horse, it was just collapsing just completely cut him off. So my 8-9, just, I knew I was in trouble early with that one.
Oh, yeah. And me, my 8-3 final gambit ran a game fourth. And it was really cool. Blaine Service, John's son, is the assistant for Brad Cox out at Turfway Park. So he's been a huge part of developing this horse. It was great to see him and Tyler enjoying the race. There was some really good footage on America's Best Racing. I thought he ran great.
He did.
Probably the off track helped him. Hopefully he'll continue on dirt. But look, I think the top 4 finishers very deserving. And me and you talked about it. We could rerun this race a million times, and the top 3 we think could go either way.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. Hopefully we'll see them race against each other a bunch. We know that Sovereignty's not running in the Preakness. We know that Baeza's not running in the Preakness. They'll both be at the Belmont Stakes in 4 weeks at Saratoga.
Well, Sovereignty, our Kentucky Derby winner. Here's more with the connections.
It really is pretty special. As I've said before, I've been in this barn for over 45 years, and this is the second Derby winner, but the first one that crossed the line first. So it's special. I mean, Churchill Downs is naturally a special place for me, and to win the Derby, you know, the impact of it on me and my family, I think it's just something we've dreamed about for a long time. Finally happened.
And we're going to talk more about Churchill Downs later in the show and get to those other races. And of course, the Preakness is coming up. We're going to have live racing here again at Parx. You don't want to miss it because it really was a fantastic day here last Saturday. But gates will open 10 a.m., first post 12:40. Hopefully we'll have great weather, and I know we're going to have fun either way.
And I will be at Pimlico to celebrate Preakness 150, Danny, and it's going to be the last Preakness with this present building. It's heading to the ground the day after the Preakness. They're tearing it all down. It'll be at Laurel next year, hopefully back at Pimlico in 2027.
Well, I'm going to be at Pimlico today, and we'll talk about that later in the show for the NTL races. But let's get to some local racing. We're going to take a look at Monday's 8th race, optional claiming 100,000. A few in for that big tag. Spike Zone, former Horse of the Year, post-time favorite.
Yeah, I mean, what a year he had last year. 11 wins and 14 starts. And Danny, this field is so strong. It's only 6 horses, 42 wins among the 6 horses.
Bucarino coming off the layoff for Freddie Velasquez, who had a great Kentucky Derby day. Can he keep it going?
The last time we saw Bucarino, he was 3rd in the Gallant Bob, and the horse that won that race, Ben Tornado, actually went 2nd in the Breeders' Cup Sprint at Del Mar a couple months later.
This is a legitimate horse. Here it is, Monday's 8th.
And Bucarino has the lead, but Spike Zone has his sights set on him. Bucarino leads the way. He's about a length over Spike Zone, who's rallied up to 2nd. On the rail, Houghton Shuffle, Vison, he's in 4th. 90% Matty, he's 5th on the rail. And on the outside, Debit Card, 6th and last. They continue on down the backstretch, 22-2. Bucarino making his first start of the year. He has the lead. Spike Zone looms in 2nd. He's getting closer. Those two now on even terms. On the inside, Bucarino, Spike Zone up to challenge. Houghton Shuffle holds 3rd. Then it's Vison, 90% Matty at the back. Debit Card. Bucarino trying to shake off Spike Zone. He's running a huge race off of the layoff, and Bucarino hits the top of the stretch with a clear and commanding lead. Bucarino with the lead. Houghton Shuffle running on gamely in 2nd. Spike Zone back into 3rd. Bucarino with the lead. Opening up now. Houghton Shuffle continues to rally. There's the 16th left. Bucarino now he's looking for the wire. Paco's looking for 3 on the day. Bucarino comes back a winner.
And he gets it done. Bucarino, Paco Lopez aboard. Freddie Velasquez had to be thrilled with this effort coming back for his 4-year-old year. I mean, he looked powerful. He looked great.
95 buyer figure, so right, he's right back to his top form right off the layoff, and Spike Zone missed the break, was kind of eliminated at that point. Obviously, he's better than that.
Yeah. Look forward to see our Horse of the Year rebound. Well, more racing later in the show, and when we come back after this break, we're getting into Smarty Jones exhibit. The ribbon cutting was right here at Parx last Saturday. You don't want to miss it. Coming up on Let's Go Racing.
The question a lot of people are asking themselves these days is, do I buy new or do I buy pre-owned? Here's what I'll tell you. New car inventories are still low and new car prices are still high. However, with the certified pre-owned Nissan at Chapman Nissan, we have a huge selection and you can save thousands over new. Plus a 7-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty, roadside assistance, 1-year prepaid maintenance, and so much more. And not for nothing. Can you really tell the difference? I can't.
This is Parx.
This is how you roll, this is how it goes. This is how you pop, this is how you rock. Take a chance, do a dance, little romance. This is how you. This is how you win. This is how you sight. This is how you all night. 360 hit me. Now we're going all in. I can feel it calling. The crowd, the light, the night, the sights, the vibe is right. This is how you. This is
Parx, Pennsylvania's #1 casino experience. This is how you win.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Well, the Smarty Jones exhibit is open for viewing right here at Parx. It's on the first floor. We had the ribbon cutting on Kentucky Derby Day. How fitting. Here's more with owner Patricia Chapman and Jeff Maddie from the PTHA.
You sharing the trophies, the memorabilia at the Smarty exhibit is pretty nice.
I tell you, everything I left there at Parx when I moved out of Pennsylvania back in October of 21, everything there is special to me. I didn't have room in my new home, which is much smaller than either home I lived in before. So I had to do something with it, and I wanted to do something really special for the fans in Southeast Pennsylvania, Philadelphia particularly, the Philadelphia area, because we can't leave Bensalem and Bucks County out, can we? I thought that would be appropriate to leave things there if Parx could get some exhibit together. But I understand that it's nice and that they'll be continuing to add to it. But this is a special way of mine of saying thank you to so many wonderful fans who helped make Smarty, the popular icon that he is today.
We're so excited. The PTHA, Parx Racing, the Chapman family, the Service family, Mrs. Chapman, the whole family, they were nice enough to give the trophies to Parx, to donate the trophies for the time being on display. So you have the 2004 Kentucky Derby trophy, the 2004 Preakness trophy, the real trophies. So they're not replicas or anything. They are the real trophies. They will be on display here on the first floor. Could not be more appreciative, again, to the Chapman family, the Service family for showing these and sharing these with the public.
And it's back to Churchill Downs. Friday it was the Kentucky Oaks 3-year-old fillies going for the Lilies, a mile and an eighth, $1.5 million in good cheer, the deserving favorite.
Yeah, daughter of Medaglia Duro, who's won this race with Plum Purdy and Rachel Alexandra, and is a great sire and good cheer, undefeated coming in.
John Ortiz sends out Quiet Side, second choice.
Yeah, that was my pick. I thought she could sit like just off the pace and maybe make a run. Didn't like the post, liked everything else.
Here it is, the Kentucky Oaks.
It is Lakara in front. Tenma to the outside, second by a length and a half. And then comes Anna's Promise in third. Followed on the outside by Quiet Side in fourth. And yet to get going is Good Cheer. But she's going to circle up on the far outside as they come to the top of the stretch. Lakara off the turn in front. Tenma trying to run with her. Good Cheer and Ballerina Doro comes roaring up on the outside. Good Cheer now. Good Cheer has taken the lead as they come into the final furlong and is opening up late to a 3-length lead as they come down to the wire. It is going to be Good Cheer.
And Good Cheer remains a perfect 7 for 7. That is impressive, Brad Cox. I mean, look, she had done nothing wrong. I was trying to make money with Lakara. I don't know what I was doing, but Good Cheer, just absolutely perfect for Godolphin.
Look, 7 for 7, hard to beat. Hopefully we'll see her in the cotillion in September. Danny, this is owned by Godolphin, which obviously also owned the Derby winner Sovereignty. They've been trying to win the Derby forever. They did win this race a couple years ago with Pretty Mischievous, but it was an incredible weekend. In addition to these two grade ones in Kentucky, they won the 1,000 Guineas at Newmarket at Group 1, and then they won the 2,000 Guineas at Group 1, Godolphin, ruling the world at the moment.
And well deserved, because they do so much for the horse racing industry, so it's great to see those beautiful royal blue silks get the weekend that they'll never forget, that's for sure. Well, let's keep it going at Churchill Downs on Kentucky Oaks Day. This is fillies and mares in the grade 1 La Troyenne, a mile and 16th, and it's the return of our cotillion winner, Thorpeda Anna's 2 wins already on the year.
Yeah, and basically 2 to 5, 1 to 5 on paper. I know people that were having a show pool going. What can you do? You bitch Thorpedo Anna the show. How's she going to run worse than third? Not possible.
Raging Sea, Chad Brown, she's dangerous.
She is dangerous on her best race for sure.
Here it is, La Troyenne.
Randomized will try to take up the distance here. She's in front by a length. Thorpedo Anna still right there in contention on the outside, edging up a bit closer now, down to a half-length lead. Free Like a Girl is 3 wide in third. North Vader fourth, starting to retreat on the inside, and then Raging Sea. It's been randomized all the way so far, and they're into the stretch with randomized in front. Torpedo Anna all out in second. She's got to do better. She's starting to drop out of contention here. Text is putting in a run. Raging Sea is two. Torpedo Anna is plummeted to the back of the field. Here comes Text on the outside. Raging Sea fights on down toward the rail. It is randomized, but it's going to be Raging Sea.
Raging Sea is with the upset. I mean, even though she's second choice, the upset because defeating Torpedo Anna, horse of the year last year.
Well, she wasn't the only one that defeated Torpedo Anna. All the fillies did. She just backed out. Shocking development because she just never run a bad race. Maybe something happened on the first turn when she got bumped around a little bit. I know Kenny was blaming himself. He said, maybe I shouldn't have brought her back in 3 weeks. Here's the good news. They went over at Wood and Riddle. No issues. He's going to give her some time. Hopefully she'll come back better than ever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when she got bumped, sometimes that can knock the wind out of them. Sometimes it could hurt their feelings. But like you said, not the normal champ that we see. No. But look forward to see her rebound. But Raging Sea, look, you had to think she was a contender. She ran second in the Breeders' Cup, and she's just been impressive herself.
And she got a better setup than the Breeders' Cup. That day, Torpedo Anna was loose in the lead, and she was chasing. This time, it was a completely different circumstance.
Well, let's go out to Oaklawn Park. It's the $200,000 stakes out there on mile and 16th. Saudi Crown, a PA Derby, is going to hook up with Mystic Dan, the Kentucky Derby winner.
Yeah, so PA Derby winner from a couple of years ago, and last year's Kentucky Derby winner. We're really hoping that Mystic Dan can get back on track, Danny, because his couple races this year were just not nearly up to his best form.
And I just so enjoyed speaking to part of their owners when they were here last year. Just really cool people. But here it is, Matt Ditterman with the call.
It's Saudi Crown, Abel Cedillo on top by 3 parts of a length. Mystic Dan in the 2-path runs in second. Emmanuel third, 3 deep. Magic Tap is next, along with Dymatic. They're side by side, 3 off the pace, and a gap of 2 to seize the night as they head down the backstretch. Saudi Crown on the lead of neck. Mystic Dan a little bit keen to get after him. Just the neck behind. Saudi Crown speeds it up, opens up a length and a tail once again on Mystic Dan, who's still second. Emmanuel third to the outside. Then Magic Tap, Dymatic. They're 2 better, then seize the night. So Saudi Crown just naturally quickest here. A length and a half in front. Mystic Dan still chasing second. Magic Tap inside of him. Dymatic between Mystic Dan and Magic Tap as they go into the turn. Emmanuel is next as they round the turn. Saudi Crown, 3 furlongs to go. Length and a half in front. Mystic Dan has come under pressure second. Magic Tap third to the inside of Emmanuel, but it's Saudi Crown who has control of things coming to the quarter pole. Saudi Crown a length in front. Mystic Dan's trying to reel him in. He's still got a shot to do it here. Mystic Dan at the top of the lane. Saudi Crown, Mystic Dan. We've seen the A effort from Mystic Dan today. Mystic Dan putting up a strong challenge to Saudi Crown, and these two are head and head, nose and nose, giving their best impression of this year's Kentucky Derby. Saudi Crown, Mystic Dan, a spine-tingling stretch drive, and Saudi Crown got his head in front.
What a finish. Saudi Crown just did not want to lose, but great to see Mystic Dan back in that solid form, and that grit is back.
Yeah, it was a virtual match race. The third horse was way back, couldn't even see him. 101 buyer. So yeah, I texted Kenny the next day. So it's great to see great to see Mystic Dan back. I'm sure we'll probably see him at Saratoga this summer. Maybe the Stephen Foster at Churchill, races like that.
Yeah, what a cool horse, and really happy to see him back running well. Well, we're going to take another break. We have so much for it. It's going to be a great show. We're going to hit the winners from the golf outing. More behind the scenes from that and best of the rest coming up.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them. Sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the Parx app. New casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours.
The Pennsylvania Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association is the advocate for Parx Racing's horsemen and has worked hard to secure better lives for the hundreds of trainers and their families that work in the thoroughbred racing industry. Our horsemen benefit from medical coverage, trainer pension plans, and increased purses. Thanks to these horsemen, racing at Parx is the very best, providing entertainment for you and the entire family. The Pennsylvania Horsemen are proud to be part of the community and introduce a new generation of fans to the sport of kings.
Welcome back. And we're going to get more from our golf outing that was last week. And what a great day it was. We had baskets, handicapping, the food was awesome. But let's see who won the golf outing. All right, the low score was Team John Service, 11 under par. They were golfing awesome. Longest drive was Brandon Catelli, and closest to the pin was the team of Greg Newell from the Pennsylvania Horse Breeders.
My man Greg Newell having a PA bred in the Hall of Fame, and Smarty Jones, and closest to the pin. What a week.
And he's a lot of fun to watch cheer on his horses when they're running. Well, now it's time for this week's Jockey of the Week, brought to you by NovaCare. Congratulations to Dexter Haddock, who had some well-timed finishes resulting in thrilling wins, making him our Jockey of the Week, sponsored by NovaCare, the power of physical therapy. All right, let's see who got this week's Trainer of the Week honor, sponsored by the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Congratulations, Freddie Velasquez, who unleashed Bucarino for a huge win off the layoff and 2 wins on Kentucky Derby here right at his home track. The PTHA proudly partners with the Tunnel to Towers Foundation to bring this week's Trainer of the Week. Time for another great Turning for Home family photo to share with you. Dang Nabbit retired back in 2023, 3 wins. He was retired by Malicio Saldana Guerrero, but he's at Optimum Equine Center. Megan Meter has a fantastic lesson program that exposes horses and kids in a joint effort in an educational atmosphere, and you just see they're learning and having so much fun.
Love the name, Dang Nabbit.
Named by Glenn Bennett of LC Racing.
Glenn's always got great names.
Well, it's time for Best of the Rest. We go back to Churchill Downs for the great Ali Sheba.
Yeah, this was Friday, and Fierceness is your favorite. He's the 4. He's in a great position the whole way. He was supposed to run in New York. Mike Rapoli says, I'm going to be in Kentucky, riding my horse in Kentucky. Fierceness wins clear, 107 buyer. What a great group of older horses we have for 2025.
The Fierceness is back, and he is fierce. All right, now it's time for the Grade 1 Churchill Downs Stakes, 7 furlongs. And what a wild stretch run this is.
Yeah, this is the race of the weekend. I mean, they're all there, right? The 2 Banishing is there. Mindframe, the 7 is there. Niceos, the great Baffert horse off the layoff. Bookham Danner, they're all there. And it's Mindframe and Rapoli and Todd Pletcher, and they win again.
Oh, what an exciting finish. And poor Bookham Dano, he ran so great
yes,
to be
he
4th, but he was right
brutal.
there. Well, let's go to the girls. And Fillies and Mares in the Derby City Distaff. It's $1 million going 7 furlongs. And Richard Mandela with a nice horse for Spendthrift, Copian.
I thought this was the performance of the weekend. The 2 Copian coming from California, getting on an off track that she's never seen before. Going to win clear by 3 lengths at the end. It was California 1-2, and she ran almost a second faster than Mindframe. This is 109 buyer. This was the performance of the weekend.
Richard Mandela set out to win this race. He set Jessica Pfeiffer, who is a famed jockey out in California, to exercise ride this horse to make sure this horse was going to be in top form, and she was.
They're not beating her in a Filly and Mare sprint at Del Mar in November.
No, I don't want to run against her with burner account. Well, it's time for this week's PTHA Trophy race. It was Tuesday, 3rd race, and Hot Pot gets a good break finally and goes on with it.
Yeah, it does get a good break. The 1-5, awesome for sure. I mean, just never really ran at all. And Hot Pot at 11-1, loose in the lead. Had a little bit of hassle in the middle of it and then draws off at the finish.
He never gives up in a fight at the end. Dexter Haddock just rode him perfectly. He wanted that win for trainer Robert Rosado, who was down with his mom who was having heart surgery. So this just meant so much to him. Miguel actually saddled the horse for him. Well, it's time for Ion Racing, and we talked about Pimlico is back open. I'll be there today for the National Thoroughbred League. They have their day here. Lamar Jackson is their team captain. I'm actually going to be at Philadelphia Stallions with my horse, My Mamba, but big purses, hopefully a great day. We'll see some Parx horse down there. And Monmouth Parks opened up.
Yeah, you got an NTL will be here in a month. Can't wait. It was a fun day last year. The Long Branch Stakes, a lot of Parx horses here. I mean, they're all over the place. Dear Chairman for Carlos Guerrero and 10 Strike, Baby Dukes, Happy Delusional, Harrigan. I mean, that Michael Pino, the hottest guy on earth, Kentucky Outlaw, Parx horses everywhere in the prep for the Haskell down the road.
Yeah, looking forward to see our Parx horses do something big. Well, we're going to go to our final break. When we come back, we're going to make you some money with Parx picks. You don't want to miss it.
It's happening again. Those missed tackles are starting to stack up. Your friends pleading with players who can't hear them, sweating it out week after week. But not you. Why? Because whether they score or not, there's always another way to win on the Bet Parx app. New casino users score up to $1,000 bonus back in their first 24 hours.
Turning for Home is a nonprofit that has provided for over 4,000 former racehorses with a safe retirement.
These brave warriors do so much for the fans, and we want to make sure they're taken care of.
It's a group effort by all the owners and the trainers, and we've helped so many horses.
Responding to the need of a better system that addressed the uncertain future for the retirement of the equine population at Parx Racing, the PTHA rallied horsemen to support the program.
It's awesome. I mean, these are the things that we deal with every day that put us into the game and make the game great. Without the horses, we have nothing.
Turning for Home became the first on-track retirement program at a year-round racetrack.
Aftercare, it takes all of us, and every single person is responsible for it. These horses give us everything on the track. It's up to us to give them everything off the track.
If you would like to help these amazing animals find a great second career and forever home, please contact us at turningforhome.org.
The PA Horse Breeders Association has a remarkable story to tell. North America's most lucrative awards program also produces Grade 1 winners year after year. Of all the great PA breds, none is more well-known, more iconic than Smarty Jones. We salute Smarty on the 20th anniversary of his wins in the first two jewels of the 2004 Triple Crown, at the time becoming only the third ever undefeated Preakness champ.
Welcome back to Let's Go Racing. Time for Parx Picks. We're going to take a look at Monday's 9th race, and fillies and mares, some really competitive ones. I'm going to go with the number 1 Confirmed Star. Look, she's just been ultra consistent, and we've seen Butch Reed do really well off layoff. She's coming off a layoff from the end of December. Eliseo has had luck with him. We saw that with Baby Dukes, the one post. I like the odds too.
Yeah, so many good horses in there. Carmelita, Foxy Jr., Beach Days. I mean, they're all over the place. I'll go with Foxy Jr. off the layoff for Bernie Howell.
Yeah, she's really cool, and Jomar and her really get along well. Well, we're going to talk about the Preakness again. You guys don't want to miss it. We have live racing here at Parx. Watch the second jewel of the Triple Crown on the big screen. Family fun. And we had our podcast this week. We had Butch Reed and Mrs. Chapman. We just talked about all things racing, cool. Smarty Jones, accomplishments. It was a great talk on Gate to Wire.
Excellent. Can't wait to watch.
PTHA Charities, it's time to get your scholarship applications in. Go to the website, www.patha.org, to see if you qualify, because there's a lot of different ways to qualify if you're part of the PTHA organization. You don't want to miss out if you're going to school and get an education.
There you go. Get it done.
Well, that wraps it up for this week. Thanks for watching us on Let's Go Racing. We'll catch you next week.
Off and racing in the Bet Parx Pennsylvania Derby in a flawless beginning, and seize the gray. He's going to seize the day in the Pennsylvania Derby. Here comes Torpedo Anna, a 16th left to go. Torpedo Anna, the Grizzly has the heart of a lion. Torpedo Anna gets the win, a narrow victory in the cotillion.